passive during these early zones. As we finally get the first tick here on the board, here comes from passive to aggressive in the action here. It is Shaiko and Meta and Expert, who are a surprise team that very consistent in FNCS, but now they're on the back foot and they're almost, yes, they're eliminated. They're out, lobbied by Milo and Cisse and company, and Nebs, they get the try, and the vibes continue on in the battle north of Coliseum. And that's going to be our first trio eliminated here in game 1.
Yeah, Cisse rolling in from round number 3 over at 20th place. So kind of the bottom half of the pack of trios coming into play today. And once again, a classic fight we're seeing in the desert side near Colossal Coliseum. It's also a colossal mistake, I feel like, to rotate near here or try to farm up expecting nothing to happen, because that's where most fights break down. Surprisingly, as well as Stealthy Stronghold, there's always a fight every week. And now another one breaks down with Shaykos up against MX, or with MXR up against Heat Sneed. Snag, Granjo's already down. And Sasha, this fight's getting explosive.
This is a battle between France and Italy right here. The Italians from Steelix going up against Gray and company and the Frenchmen. Can they be able to hold on? This has been another contested spot that we've been talking about. Now it's Seikos sitting at height of the moment here, down a member of Gray. Now it's up to EXR and Seikos to hold down tight as the battle is fighting out. Looking up at the feed right now. Passive goes down and the feed gets confirmed by Stormray. So that battle is continue on, and another trio loses out. It looks like the Italians get the advantage here. Heatsy, Steelix.
Breaking down another one over at Retail Row. Everyone looking healthy as well. Trader, Arax, and Wishy can't do much. There's always these underdog contesters who find themselves at a POY against Titans, against the 11th place trio of Playwell. And on all fronts, they just tear apart the fight. There's a reason these guys were the next up trio to qualify, didn't make it through just yet, but statistically are the strongest ones coming into today.
And this is the trio that's been so aggressive throughout the qualifying stage. They did not make it, of course. That's why they're playing here in qualifier 2. But we've seen them all the way up north at Stealthy. Now they're all the way down south here. And we thought Kirachi's trio was going to be chill, not going against the Slurpee trio. But boy, oh boy, this is such a messy fight that's happening right now. And already Tayson, Eyedrop, and Savage getting 2 elims. Looking forward to add a couple more elims. The pressure is on. It is a trio box dive heading in head strong. And Butrick is just trying to hold the line as much as possible, but he does have it. Zappy are now fighting hip to hip, and now it's going to be a little bit as Putra is now going up the high for a moment to gain the advantage. Now he's sending down the beams here. It could be a matter of moments. Yes, Tayson does go down. It's a 3-2 advantage. A lot of HP going through the Pudgic trio of going against Eyedrop and Savage. Now we've been seeing Eyedrop and Savage sticking their hand inside the cookie jar for so many times, and now they're getting punished by Zappy and Putrick. Let's see how now as the time is going back. So many nice work between Tayson and Savage. 2 elims, 4 points, and now Mr. Savage has to disengage, and this is going to hurt Savage and Eyedrop, but I'm not sure if they're looking for a placement here in this fight. I think they're just testing the waters, and boy, the water got cold there really, really fast.
Really fast. I think that weak link in the fight in general was Tayson tuning in.
Better their performance from the qualifiers, but it looks like a Eclipse and Tridents. They have a 2 front pressure on the backside. You have Lucy sitting on the other side trying to create a Prince, and then at the same time you have the rest of the lobby looking in for some beams to third party. Crizzy just gets hit right in the mouth here. He's gonna have to back up to his teammate, looking for that backup as much as possible. Without any shield, Crizzy may go down early, and once that happens, Shio, that's gonna give them the green light to completely box dive from Eclipse and company.
Yeah, we just saw it in Weeping Woods. One person taking repeated damage in the trio should be enough for the people up top on the higher layer to have the advantage to break down in the fight. We thought it'd be Crizzy, but it's Stir6 that takes the God shot straight to the face, down to just 20 HP. We'll flip off that fight for a second. The reboot's there.
They did get the reboot card.
Yep, okay. Tayson's coming right back. That trio's gonna be fully alive, but they're gonna have to re-farm a lot. They're gonna have to make sure that all the mats are there in total. Lots of buildings over available in Salty Towers. Past that, Amplify and Benjir also kind of, you know, renting some space inside the home of Savage, Tayson, and Drop or Eyedrop, and then past that on that fight with Playwell, that 2-1 split. I wonder if it's still working out.
look at this investment here. The Playwell was able to actually hit the reverse card. Now it's Trident all by themselves. It looks like Eclipse went down and the other teammate. So Trident now is on the full scramble, trying to get away, trying to push it high, expend all the kind of materials needed to just trying to hold on and survive. But Stir6 now, the storm is going to take the toll and pay it. Down goes Stir6. And Crizzy now, without that HP lead, is going to have to wrap up the fight. But it's not going to take a lot, but at the same time, look how far these Playwell boys have to go. Even though they win this engagement, these are the butterfly effects that it causes, and you're already seeing out in the distance the other members actually sitting there. So this fight's going to be a very elongated here. You're going to win this moment, but you mentioned, Shayo, a little bit earlier, the sand could be there for letting them get away. Crazy right now on the back foot now with 10 HP, 9 HP, man. Still going to go pushing, knowing that he has to understand he got to get the Siphon as much as possible. Down goes Trident. There's still one member of that trio there, but looks like the zone is now pushing towards the east. There is some sand. A new mechanic that has been introduced this season, if you haven't been watching, is sand tunneling. So if you could go ahead and sit in the sand for a brief moment, it does take a little bit. You could turn yourself into like a little sand bunny and burrow your way through and get into safe zone. But looks like Nate and 4ZR are not going to opt for that.
Yeah, very difficult option, because as soon as you do get shot up, it's very hard to box up immediately. You take a lot of damage.
And here we go. Look at everybody moving across here as Nate, 4ZR are actually getting invaded. An injection is happening here on this tarp. It is Dexy and Co. Bobby and Helix are pushing it. Another one is Siberia and Reason are now in this layer. They're all like-minded people moving together, and Nate and 4ZR are trying to survive as much as possible, Shayo.
Absolutely. We go from Fortnite to 3D games into a platformer as everyone moves from right to left. Obstacles all the way in between. Goomba Stomps, though, from Nate and 4ZR are the option to, because all those low health people are right below them. They just need a few floor edits and get a bunch of refreshes, but they have to be on the same page.
Yeah, and Nate and 4ZR are in trouble. That injection into that tarp caused them to go into their hard mats, and now they're only down to their soft mats, which is going to give a big target. But hey, speaking of big targets, I drop now. The solo player, Tayson, Mr. Savage are out, and they're at 82 below. So I drop now is going to be aggressive, and not only that, his builds are on fire, and he's going to have to move as much as possible, Shayo.
While he's going for the clutch, Toos has a bunch of elims in the feed. Frey is also popping off. Nate goes, takes down Cisse. He goes straight away down. Drop now, though. No builds down in the water. Looking for some picks. It's not possible. Flowkey laps that one up. So Nakos has complete control, basically, of that backside low ground. Up on height, though, it's Toos, it's Snappy, and Putrick. Uncontested from Slurpee. And now all the way on the King's kind of lair on the entire game, 7th zone, and this is where usually that last retake comes through. So if they hold down here, nice healing by Snappy. This should be a win for this God trio.
That was a huge harpoon play from Zappy, able to get some valuable metal there, 106 total, and that's what you're talking about. You're going to need that, as the rest of the zone is now going to have to navigate over this river, so more builds will be expended to survive. The high ground is going to have to cash in as much as possible, get as many elims, and Shayo, you called it, coming all the way from Slurp Factory, able to get a free uncontested drops, able to avoid the madness down Weeping Woods, now sitting pretty at height. But we still have a lot of warriors down below fighting on a great layer as Teak said in Cammy. All of a sudden they had 0 elims into these zones, and they were able to ramp it up, and now they have a total of 8 elims, looking very strong, looking very beautiful here on the mid ground, looking for Falconry, who's always almost got caught. So hey, if you're sitting on this layer right now, you must drop, go below, but that just means soon enough Teak and Seti and Cammy will capitalize with their power, and look at it in their aggression, fighting hip to hip, Shayo.
Yep, Gladiators up on height, challengers all the way in the mid-ground layers, and now they start to connect shots. Bunch of full trios still alive, so every single edit and every single bullet will be followed by 2 more. It'll be big damage just drop down on every single layer we're seeing so far.
It looks like Snagged and Snagged and the Italians are up right now and sitting in front of the zone.
Nice, nice, nice. So that last place trio from last week, completely redeeming their kind of full storyline, getting a lot of points so far. Snag trying to stay alive, but it's not possible. Seti also down. Cammy, these guys have so many elims, 8 to boot so far, and he can still end up clutching up. Snappy, though, uninterrupted so far, and is all the way back up on height. Medkit in tow as well. Possibility for that heal off. Toos picking up Seti up in the field, up in the zone. 3 different trios left, 7 people in total, and my man Snappy's celebrating. He knows he has the insurance. The question is, will he have the possible time and the right position to pop it off? Nakos is still down below, gets a pick off on the Cammy, and now 2 trios left. a 3v3 on our screens.
3v3 Patrick and Toos now, and you got the ultimate high Zappy, the insurance. You got Patrick and Toos sitting down to try to kind of just slow down Floki, Clement, and Co. But hey, it doesn't matter. Down goes Clement, and the battle happens right now. If anyone looks up, Zappy, who's already vibing up there, already dancing, already doing all the TikTok dances up there. And yes,
10 eliminations and the victory royale, massive. We see Snappy, Toos, Patrick, they're up there in first place, but look at this like point disparity, right? Floki, Clement, and Nakos.
Yeah, Floki, Clement, and Nakos, they are literally just some of the best French players we have in the region. When we talk about the top regions, France is always thrown in there, and it's partly because of those guys. Obviously, they didn't make it through this week.